Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2k15 Universe Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz. We're here with Monday Night Raw this week, and we are 1 week gone from the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and 3 weeks away from the upcoming Survivor Series pay-per-view. There were some bombshell announcements on last week's SmackDown, and we've got plenty of announcements to make on this week's Raw. So first up, we have the Perfect Truth coming up against Sami Zayn and Neville, as we're trying to find out who's going to be the next contenders for the Tag Team Championships. AJ Lee will take on Emma. Sheamus and Mark Henry will team up to take on Rob Van Dam and Dolph Ziggler. We don't know who's going to be taking on Ziggler for the US Championship. It could be Mark Henry. It could be Sheamus again. We don't know. Could even be RVD. And we have Kane versus Daniel Bryan going one-on-one. Daniel Bryan, probably one of the favorites to be the #1 contender for that US Championship. Randy Orton will go one-on-one with the big guy Ryback. And we have a #1 contenders match for the WWE Championship. Triple H will go one-on-one with Roman Reigns, and it's going to be a no-holds-barred match. And there's a lot of little history between Triple H and Roman Reigns in just a couple of weeks, certainly in Hell in a Cell. We'll get into that later. Perfect Truth taking on Zayn and Neville. Wow, okay, the Perfect Truth get a victory. I think that might be their first win as a tag team. That's an upset win for sure. AJ versus Emma. AJ, despite losing her rematch, she keeps on winning. She's done pretty well there to beat Emma, who's one of the hot favorites to be the next #1 contender for the Divas Championship. Okay, that's an upset as well. Kane coming away with the victory over Daniel Bryan. Okay, alright, so we have to throw Kane's name in the mix for that US Championship contendership. And Randy Orton, he gets another win over Ryback, and that's a much-needed win for Randy Orton. We'll talk more about Randy Orton in a moment. As we get ready for the tag team match, it is going to be Sheamus and Mark Henry teaming up to take on Rob Van Dam and Dolph Ziggler. And now Sheamus has taken on a new kind of turn in his career. I mean, he was teaming up with Rob Van Dam for many months and succeeding, doing very, very well as a tag team. But we saw at Hell in a Cell, that run was now over as Sheamus took out his frustrations on Rob Van Dam. And a lot of you guys want to see those two guys go at it at the upcoming Survivor Series pay-per-view, and there's a big chance they might. And this man, Mark Henry, ever since moving over from SmackDown to Raw, hasn't exactly excelled all that much. He's had a couple wins here and there. He had a little bit of an altercation with Kane for a while and trying to trade back wins back and forth. But he has a good opportunity tonight to team up with Sheamus and perhaps get a victory to try and put his name in contention for that US Championship. Can he do it? We'll wait and find out. And of course, Rob Van Dam, who holds a couple of victories over the United States Champion Dolph Ziggler, but you get the feeling that Rob Van Dam's attention is no longer on that US Championship and is more so on the Celtic Warrior Sheamus after what he did to him at Hell in a Cell. And was that Hell in a Cell where we saw Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus one-on-one for that United States Championship, and Sheamus did lose to this man Rob Van Dam, and RVD didn't have a role to play. I mean, he didn't really try to interfere, didn't try to help Sheamus, didn't try to do anything. He just watched on as the manager in Sheamus' corner as Dolph Ziggler beat Sheamus in pretty convincing fashion, to be honest with you. So I don't know if it's really Sheamus being frustrated that RVD didn't help him win, or is it these two guys just simply have had enough of each other and it's time to move on, as RVD and Sheamus both in the ring to kick this one off. So this should be pretty good. RVD and Sheamus getting an opportunity to take some frustrations out on each other in this tag team match, as Sheamus says RVD up for a big powerbomb, and he's getting the hell out of there as he tags in Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, to pick up the pieces that he just laid down of RVD. So I don't know what's the deal. I mean, the Celtic Thunder was definitely a very, very successful tag team, winning the tag team titles and, holding them for a while, beating some very formidable teams, and maybe they were a tag team for just a little bit too long. I don't know, but they just kind of stopped teaming up for a while. They took a bit of a break. Both guys weren't doing much, and then they both decided, look, let's just go and try and win singles championships. We'll remain friends, we'll remain allies, we'll support each other, and let's try and win a singles championship. And as it turned out to be, both men became #1 contenders for that United States Championship. And then they both had a match against each other, and Sheamus defeated RVD to become the sole #1 contender and have a one-on-one match against Dolph Ziggler. And we all probably thought Rob Van Dam was going to be the guy to turn on Sheamus, but it was Sheamus that turned his frustrations out and took them out on Rob Van Dam at Hell in a Cell. Hit the bro kick, took Rob Van Dam out. And, you get the feeling that this situation between the two is definitely not over yet. Mark Henry thinking about attack. He does, as Sheamus is now back in. after RVD's been beaten down a little bit, but RVD gets some offense in, taking down the Celtic Warrior there as we saw Sheamus come out to some new music as well. So maybe Sheamus is thinking about changing up his persona, getting away from, you know, the persona that he curated with Rob Van Dam and trying to move on and become his own man. And Sheamus hasn't had single success for a long time. It wasn't since Money in the Bank that he won the World Heavyweight Championship, which he held for 5 days. And he hasn't won a singles title since. So is that weighing in Sheamus' mind? Is he frustrated that he hasn't had single success? He had tag team success, and now, you know, he lost again. And so he's taking his frustrations out on Rob Van Dam, perhaps, as Dolph Ziggler enters this match for the first time, and the US Champion coming up against Mark Henry. And like I said earlier, Mark Henry not exactly setting the world on fire with his recent victories, you know, recent matches, and, you know, he hasn't really had many victories. He's had the odd win here and there to kind of throw his name around, but this is a good chance for him. You know, Mark hasn't done too much since coming to Raw, so being a part of this tag team match tonight is a good opportunity for him. And we saw Kane defeat Daniel Bryan before, and oh wait a minute, Sheamus has Dolph Ziggler, and Mark Henry takes advantage with a big chop to the chest of Dolph Ziggler. So we saw Daniel Bryan lose to Kane earlier on in the show, so that to me kind of suggests that maybe, you know, Kane could be the next #1 contender. I don't know. I mean, Daniel Bryan, he did defeat Dolph Ziggler one-on-one last week, so to me, Daniel Bryan, his name is, he's there. He should be in the US Championship match, but he did lose to Kane, so perhaps we'll have to see a rematch between the two in an official #1 contenders match to kind of settle it. I don't know. If Mark Henry wins tonight, will it be a triple threat match? Are we going to throw his name in there? I don't know. But definitely, Daniel Bryan deserves the opportunity. And uh-oh, Dolph Ziggler hitting those elbow drops after elbow drops right into the chest. And that's a big chest to Mark Henry, let me tell you that. And maybe in the guts as well. So Dolph Ziggler, look at this. The stamina of the show-off, and he is showing off against Mark Henry right now, looking very, very good, our US Champion. The cover, Sheamus breaks it up at 2 though, as now Rob Van Dam wants to get inside the ring, but Sheamus quickly gets out, and as does RVD. So Mark Henry up to his feet now, and he's trying to run away, trying to get the tag. Is he going to do it? He does. Sheamus back in the ring now, so this will be a bit of a rematch of what we saw at Hell in a Cell, where Sheamus did lose, like I said very early on the show. He lost very convincingly to Dolph Ziggler. It was Dolph Ziggler who dominated Sheamus, and I was surprised. A lot of us were probably thinking Sheamus could be the next US Champion. But I guess now a new mean persona of Sheamus. He's taking on a new life. He's deciding, I'm not going to be Mr. Nice Guy anymore. I'm not going to wait for things. I'm going to try and take them. And if anyone gets in my way, like Rob Van Dam, I'm going to take him out. And that's exactly what happened at Hell in a Cell. And I don't know if it'll happen at Survivor Series, but Sheamus and RVD certainly have a score to settle right now, and they have an opportunity to do that in this match, but at the moment it's Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler. So perhaps if Sheamus does pin the US Champion, that will throw Sheamus' name back in the title hunt again. So there's a lot of guys gunning for that United States Championship at this point in time. But I guess Sheamus has had his opportunity, probably should move him back in line. And suppose maybe RVD, Mark Henry, Kane, Daniel Bryan, you know, they all want that opportunity to be the next US Champion. Dolph Ziggler's held it for a while now, a couple of months, and, you know, he's looked very, very strong and very solid as the champion thus far. So certainly, it's not going to be very easy to beat Dolph Ziggler. Oh! The zigzag there to Sheamus, and that was truly out of nowhere, and perhaps out of desperation. And now, RVD back in the ring. This could be it. If RVD gets the cover here on Sheamus, this is going to be it. And oh, kick to the leg. And another one right in the thighs. And he takes Sheamus down. Can he get to the cover? He will. Here it is. And the referee a bit slow, but Sheamus powering out at 1 anyways. And there you go. I mean, that was a big move by Dolph Ziggler, hitting the zigzag just like that. And I thought for a second there it was going to be over. But Sheamus, to his credit, back up to his feet now, but for how long? Here is the cover attempt. Sheamus kicking out again at 1, and that'd be a real travesty for Sheamus right now to lose this match, considering that he's trying to really turn his career around, and a loss here would really harm that. As a nice suplex there by Rob Van Dam. That's a nice move, as these two guys do certainly, like I said, they have a score to settle, and RVD is looking for revenge. And uh-oh, wait a minute. Sheamus has RVD in some trouble with the white noise. Down goes Van Dam. Here is the cover. Ziggler coming in, and he's quick enough to break up the count. Mark Henry just a little bit too slow there. Not really able to take Dolph Ziggler out, but that could take Rob Van Dam out with the bro kick. Surely that's going to be enough. Wait a minute. He's not going to put him away. Now Sheamus heating up. Here we go. RVD getting, taken out by Sheamus right now, who's fired up. RVD in some trouble. And here we go again. We're going to see it again, are we? The white noise setting him up a second time. The white noise. Sheamus destroying Van Dam at the moment. But Dolph Ziggler again able to get in there and break this one up. Keeping Van Dam alive, but for how much longer? Taking out Van Dam is with a second bro kick. Now in comes Henry. And he's going to take out Van Dam. He takes out Ziggler. Van Dam in big trouble. But Van Dam able to get a kick to the midsection of the world's strongest man. But is that just desperation? And RVD trying to get a quick one on Sheamus. And Sheamus countering and takes out Van Dam of his own. He's already suffered 2 bro kicks. And that could be enough to put him away. Just like that. 2. Sheamus is there to take out Ziggler, and just like that, Mark Henry picks up the scraps that Sheamus laid down for him, and Rob Van Dam has been pinned by Henry, and Sheamus and Mark Henry come away with a victory. We thought for a moment it was going to be Sheamus losing this match, but Dolph Ziggler unable to put him away. It was 2 white noises, 2 bro kicks to Van Dam, and that was enough. It's just a kick to the right to the skull of Van Dam that he's already suffered 2 big head knocks. Perhaps that was the finishing shot. And perhaps even Van Dam could have a concussion after that big shot to the skull. And just like that, Mark Henry and Sheamus both come away with a major victory here. Henry needed it to try and get him in the US title hunt. Sheamus needed it to continue his path of destruction. What a victory there for Henry and Sheamus as we get ready to move on to our next match. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the game, Triple H. And perhaps this is the biggest match in recent times for Triple H, because we've seen him in a fatal 4-way for the WWE Championship. We've seen him in the 6-man Hell in a Cell, but we haven't really seen Triple H since Money in the Bank have a realistic opportunity to become the next WWE Champion. A one-on-one match here tonight against Roman Reigns. No holds barred, just right up Triple H's alley. And if Triple H wins, he will be the #1 contender to face Seth Rollins at the upcoming Survivor Series pay-per-view. And Triple H, he was pinned by Seth Rollins in the Hell in a Cell match, and really it was all thanks to Roman Reigns, who hit the spear on Triple H. Rollins came in, picked up the pieces, and he came away with the sneaky win. Triple H last week looked pretty good in the tag team match as well, and he's ready to go here tonight. He's going to be coming up against this man, Roman Reigns, who's ready. He's fired up, and we all know the situation between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins right now, and it's Roman Reigns doing everything he can to try and get his hands on Seth Rollins. It was Seth Rollins last week who did take out Roman Reigns, hit the finishing touches on what has already been a very heated rivalry for quite some time now, of course dating back to old school Raw. And now Roman Reigns has the opportunity to get himself a #1 contendership spot and get himself an opportunity to face Seth Rollins one-on-one, and you get the feeling that is what Roman Reigns wants more than anything in the world right now. I don't think he really cares all that much about being the WWE Champion. I just think he wants his opportunity to face Seth Rollins one-on-one, So at the moment, collar and elbow tie-up between Roman Reigns and Triple H, both men powerhouses, both men in great condition, and Triple H still trying to prove that he's still got it after a woeful couple of months for Triple H. I mean, he lost at Money in the Bank. He lost his spot as the Authority. He doesn't have the power that he used to have anymore, but he's still trying to remain an active in-ring competitor. He's no longer in power, so he decided to take a step back in the ring and try and win back the WWE Championship that he has not held in the series yet. And so far, it hasn't really been all that good for Triple H. Like I said, he's had 3 opportunities for the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank, Night of Champions, and Hell in a Cell, and each time he has failed to win the match. So Triple H has got a lot of soul searching to do. He needs to try and figure out what is going wrong. Is he just past his prime at the moment, Triple H? Is he simply not good enough to be the champion of the world right now? And I guess Triple H needs to try and figure that out. And I mean, if he beats Roman Reigns tonight, that's a huge victory for Triple H, and that could launch his career back into the top of the main event card here for Triple H here on Monday Night Raw. And Roman Reigns, nice belly-to-belly slam, taking down Triple H. And of course, Seth Rollins has held the championship since Night of Champions, which he won it in a fatal 4-way match, and then he retained it in a 6-man Hell in a Cell match, much to all of our surprise. I think everybody kind of thought there's no way Seth is going to retain, but he did. Now, at Survivor Series, it will be a fair one-on-one matchup to determine who will truly be the WWE Champion. As Seth Rollins really deserved to be the champion, is Seth Rollins really the best that Raw has? Because it truly has just been Seth Rollins coming along, picking up the pieces, and like we saw with Roman Reigns, he speared Triple H. Seth Rollins came in, I think he hit a DDT or something on Triple H, and that was enough to get the 3 count whilst everyone else was distracted. Seth Rollins was very, very lucky. But now, Seth Rollins at Survivor Series will have to create his own luck. He's going to have to be good enough to beat either Roman Reigns or Triple H one-on-one to determine the true WWE Champion, who truly is the best here on Raw. And as well as that, I spoke about it last episode, how Randy Orton and The Rock both haven't had fair one-on-one opportunities for the WWE Championship. They never got a real fair rematch clause. Randy Orton's rematch clause was in a fatal 4-way. The Rock's rematch clause was in a 6-man Hell in a Cell. So what I've decided to do, at Survivor Series, we will see The Rock versus Randy Orton. I know we've seen this match a number of times now, and it's been historic throughout Universe Mode, but one more chapter in the historic feud of Randy Orton and The Rock. But this time, it's to prove who is the #1 contender for the WWE Championship, and that will take place at Survivor Series. So we'll find out who is the WWE Champion, either Roman Reigns, Triple H, or Seth Rollins. We'll find out who tonight is the #1 contender for Survivor Series to face Seth Rollins. And then at Survivor Series, we'll find out who will be the next contender for Seth Rollins' championship. And, well, it could be Roman Reigns, it could be Triple H's championship. We don't know yet, so we'll find out at Survivor Series. And that the next championship match, I don't know if it'll take place at TLC or what, but it will take place at some point in time. So there will be a #1 contender match at Survivor Series to go along with the championship match as well. So at the moment, it's Roman Reigns outside the ring, gut-wrench suplex to Triple H. And of course, this is no holds barred, which is why you saw some weapons being introduced into this one. Roman Reigns just goes right, stiff shot to the skull of Triple H, trying to do everything he can to perhaps bust the game open. He's doing it again. These shots by Roman Reigns, brutal at the moment on Triple H. And Reigns is trying to punish Triple H, trying to do everything he can to win this one, get the better of Triple H. And, you know, this is really about a proving point for Roman Reigns. I mean, he's proven that... Oh, what a shot by Triple H. He's proven that he's probably better than Triple H. He's proven that he is certainly a viable contender. At Hell in a Cell, it was Roman Reigns' match. He was the MVP of that match. He deserved to win that. But Seth Rollins stole it from him. And now Seth Rollins tried to take Roman Reigns out last week on Raw. Didn't do it, you know, didn't have much success. Roman Reigns is still here tonight. Is he in 100%? I don't know. He looks pretty good to me. But, you know, you get the feeling that Roman Reigns is just frustrated. Everybody's starting to doubt him. A lot of people are saying, Roman Reigns, you know, he was fighting for the US Championship not too long ago and he failed. Now he's trying to be the WWE Champion. I think he's trying to bite off more than he can chew. But he's certainly holding up his own. He was so good at Hell in a Cell, and in my opinion, he was my pick to win, and he was so close to winning it. And it wasn't until Seth Rollins, like I said, came in and stole the victory. And now Roman Reigns tonight. Oh, what a shot! And that's busted. Triple H open as well, following it up with another shot with the steel steps. So Roman Reigns is getting the opportunity to prove that he truly can hang with the best on Raw here tonight. And hell, he could be in a part of Survivor Series in the big main event for Survivor Series. The WWE Championship could be on the line. And Roman Reigns could be in that match. So this is a big chance for Roman Reigns to really prove that he can step up and he can beat the best that Raw has to offer, because so far we haven't seen that from Reigns. We've seen him participate, we've seen him being in amongst it, but we haven't really seen him come away with a victory. And at the moment, we went for attempted neck breaker, Triple H with a counter, but Reigns, too strong, countering an arm drag of his own. And Reigns, has he got enough left in the tank to try and get Triple H in and finish him off? He's already busted him open. He's still working away on that open wound of Triple H in the forehead. Triple H, he's in some trouble, let me tell you that. Reigns trying to get another weapon, but Triple H's not going to allow that one to happen. Reigns attempted big right hand, Triple H countering. Oh, Reigns getting a big left of his own. Another right. Roman Reigns on fire here. Triple H in some trouble and a knee to the kidneys by Roman Reigns on Triple H. Reigns needs to get Triple H in the middle of the ring and try to get the cover. He cannot win outside the ring. And he's still, oh look, these shots to the head, almost hitting the steel steps as well for good measure. But Triple H, he knows everything about a no-holds-barred match. He knows how to win big matches, and he's still fighting. He's still giving everything he's got. Oh, big left hand, right to the skull of Roman Reigns, but Reigns gets Triple H back in the ring. And, oh, an elbow shot to follow. Can Roman Reigns win this match? He's got Triple H right where he wants him. He has the opportunity to win. And uh-oh, wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Is he going to set him up for it? Look out, Triple H. Roman Reigns is coming. Oh, the spear. The spear by Roman Reigns on Triple H. Is that enough? New #1 contender. 2. Yes, he's done it. He has done it. Roman Reigns is the new #1 contender for the WWE Championship, just like that, and a convincing win here tonight. He beat the hell out of Triple H in this no-holds-barred match, hit the spear, and at Hell in a Cell, he couldn't get the 3 count, but tonight, here on Monday Night Raw, where it counts, he comes away with a big victory, and here we go, a sign of respect in Triple H having none of it. He's pissed off. Triple H, he knew this was a big opportunity for him, and he failed again. Another big loss for Triple H. But Roman Reigns, another big victory for him, and he will face Seth Rollins at Survivor Series 1-on-1 for the WWE Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today's episode of Universe Mode. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe as well to see more episodes coming up real soon. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you next episode.